Welcome to Books and Things. And tonight I have a special guest, special friend. Her name is Sandra Lipowski. Last week we had a spiritual healer on, and as things would work out, I have a second one today. Sandy and I met maybe 10, 12 years ago. Due to the death of my son, we were discussing different things. I mean, she was a medium then, and now she's advanced a lot more. And as they say, coincidentally, which we know that coincidentally doesn't happen, things happen for a reason, we're brought together again through the death of her daughter. And I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. But anyway, welcome to my show.
Nice to be here.
So, how did you get started? Or how did you know you had powers to talk to the dead
When
or
I was
receive the dead?
when I was a small child, I always had things happen. I wouldn't say always like talk to the dead, but I always had things just always happen. Like if I said something to somebody during the day, then later on it would happen, and I started to notice all those things. So as I got older, I've always been into the supernatural, witchcraft kind of stuff when I was a kid,
Yeah.
And as I got older, I realized, well, maybe, all this stuff was for a reason, that I was always interested in this stuff. So I started researching and I started practicing. And when I first started, it was funny because I just would take anybody's keys and just let me read your energy, and I got fascinating results from it. And then I was like, oh, maybe I can talk to the dead. Maybe I can, I just started experimenting with every kind of magical, mystical, sixth sense you could possibly have. So then I realized I was actually good at communicating with the dead. And sometimes they actually came to me without me asking them to come to me. They would, hi, I'm here. Can you go talk to this person for me? And I mean...
Well, that's what happened with Todd.
Yeah, I know.
Because your mom ran a restaurant, and we used to go there every Friday night. And one night you said, your son wants to talk to you. And I said, yeah, okay. And she said, but not tonight, next week. And then when I went back, he said, oh, my, glad you're here. He's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's been a few instances where they've done that. 90% of the time, it's when I'm sitting with somebody and I'm doing it. I can be on my Facebook page and I'll be scrolling down and somebody will be asking a question and I'll get something and I'm made to send them it, and so I do. That's not my main focus anymore, even though if somebody asked, I still would do it.
Yeah.
I do a lot of other energy work, spiritual readings, looking into people's true purpose, stuff like that. But I don't know, I've always just known that I had that gift, some type of gift, and so I just started practicing.
It's a tremendous gift, and going back to that time, I had been to several psychics and mediums, and because, as you know, when a death happens, you try to find out as much as you can as to why or what, which you don't really find out anyway. But you were the closest to giving me information that nobody else did, which I was very impressed. And you held my ring. I don't know if you remember. You held my ring and you handed it back to me. It was ice cold.
It was cold. I remember that. It's funny when you give readings for people. Like I remember doing the reading for Todd, but because he's coming through me.
Yeah.
I don't remember the actual details.
Okay.
I know I gave you a reading. I knew the ring was cold.
Yeah.
But actually, what was said to you was for you.
Okay.
It wasn't for me.
All right.
So
Yeah.
A lot of times I don't remember what was said. People say, oh, don't you remember when you told me that I was going to get pregnant and I didn't believe you? I said that? Yeah, you did.
I've heard that people don't really
Yeah, they're
retain it.
coming through
Yeah.
me. And so it's not my mind thinking it, so it wouldn't store that memory.
Yeah.
Because it's not for me, it's for you.
Yeah.
And which is kind of nice because it's private. You're
Yeah.
using somebody else, but it's a private thing.
It is. That's true.
Yeah.
And you have to, and not only that, but you shouldn't retain a lot of this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Because
I clear my energy all the time.
because you can't do that. I get that when I talk to people that get me depressed.
Yeah.
And you go, I don't want to listen anymore.
Well, that's being an empath.
Yes.
And a feeler.
Yeah.
That's until you figure out that you are that and can actually protect your energy space, It's draining.
That's what I don't know how to do yet. I have people that start talking to me, next thing I know, I'm depressed, I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And
Well, you just got to ask Archangel Michael, put light around you and protect you.
I'll try that and see if that works, because it drives me nuts.
Yeah, it does.
But
It
anyway.
can. It can literally
Yes.
drive you nuts.
It can. And so I'm so glad that you continued and have gotten as far as you have, and that we can use people like you.
It's been my path.
Yeah.
It really, truly has been my path. And I know Shelby, my daughter, is part of that path. You know, from the time I was a small child, a teenager, let's say, I've always wanted to open a center for kids, for teenagers who felt like I did as a kid, who didn't fit in. I never felt like I fit in anywhere. And my daughter felt the same way. And I know that she's over there helping me with this.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Is starting the Shelby Rose Foundation. So, in a way,
Let's explain that a little more. The Shelby Rose Foundation. You have a website.
yeah, it's theshelbyrosefoundation.com.
Okay. And you're trying to raise money.
Yeah, we're having the kickoff on September 13th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. There's going to be vendors and softball games and all kinds of stuff there to raise money for the foundation. We're trying to open a center for kids, for teenagers.
And where's that going to be?
We don't know yet.
Oh.
Shelby's leading us. She actually told me, I actually went to a medium because I can't hear her myself right now because of my grief. And she told me that within 3 years, it'll be completed.
Ah.
It's going to start out this way, and then it's just going to go. But not to look.
Actually, what I meant was, where's the...
Oh, behind the Stonington High School,
Oh, okay.
in the field back there,
All right. And that's what date?
September 13th,
13th. Very good.
Sunday.
I'll have to make a note of that so I can remember to go. I get more dates.
I know. I do.
It's busy and it's nice.
Yes, it keeps you busy. I don't really like being alone.
No, especially not.
No, not right now.
It's for those of you who have been through this, it's not a picnic. It's not easy, and every day is you think is going to be a little bit better, and not necessarily. And even being a medium, I don't think that really helps you, except the fact that you know what she's doing,
Well,
or you think you do, and knowing that she's here with
yes,
you.
I can feel her. I can see the signs. My faith is really what's kept me going through all of this.
Yeah.
But like I said, my life has been a school, lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. I finally got to a point in my life where I felt like I've reached a point of peace and happiness, and then that happened, and I was like, this is the biggest lesson I just knew, like, this was part of my lesson, that this was the biggest lesson I was ever gonna have to learn. Like, the universe was saying to me, do you really believe what you say and teach and preach and talk about every day? Because if you do, there's nothing to be sad about. And
Yeah.
there isn't, but our humanness has those feelings, and we can't help. I mean, when I'm keeping busy and stuff, I'm okay. It's when I'm by myself, when I think about the what ifs or the whys, or, what could I have done? Why did I go to work that day? Those kind of things, they really get me. But she is all around. It's fascinating. I mean, I'm glad that I was her mom, that I taught her that death wasn't death, that it was just a transformation, and then once you get over there, that you can freely communicate. Me and Shelby have these conversations all the time. So I know that when she died, that she accepted it and just crossed over. There was no lingering. She might be here checking out, making sure we're okay, letting us know that she's okay, but I know she's over. She's not stuck here. And some souls do get stuck here.
Oh yeah, and I think that's from my experiences. Is he okay? What's he doing? Is everything okay? You know that he's supposed to be in heaven. He's supposed to be here and there. But down deep inside, you go, What happened?
Yeah, you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
That's the well. Even though our situations was different, they were kind of the same. Like there was no evidence of what actually happened with him. There was no tire
No.
marks or
No,
anything.
just boom.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
even though we know how my daughter died, what brought that to that,
Yeah.
we don't know.
Keep shutting this thing off. It keeps.
We don't know what happened, and that's what's bothering me. That question right there is this happy child who just wanted everybody to feel loved and gave love, and it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No. And then if you talk to different people, they say when you're born, basically your life is laid out for you.
Yes, I believe that.
And I keep thinking, now, why in the world would I ever
Agree to come
that
back to this?
stupid
Yeah,
thing? How could you possibly?
No.
But we weren't human, and therefore we
I
didn't
know.
have the emotions.
No, and we didn't have the emotions, but I think that's the biggest gift. I mean, we wouldn't be able to feel alive if we didn't feel this
That's
stuff.
true.
You know what I mean? If we just
And-
didn't feel that stuff. And we learn the most through pain and grief.
Yeah.
We really do. If everything was hunky-dory and we just float through life.
Oh, yeah. You learn who your friends are. You learn how.
Exactly.
You learn love.
Yeah, everything
Because-
is learned through pain and
Yeah.
grief. And we chose that as humans coming here. We knew that. Over there, they're like, you're doing your job perfect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Over here, we're like, what the hell are we doing?
And the other thing is, it takes you on a different path in life.
Totally.
Totally different. I'm sure I would never be where I am today if,
No.
if that didn't happen.
Oh,
I'm just not-
already,
I was doing well.
yeah, my whole life is a shambles right now.
Yeah.
And I know it'll never get back to that normal. It'll get back to a different normal.
And that's another thing I try to tell people, that if your friend has lost a child or a loved one, that friend is going to be different. They'll settle down eventually, but it's going to be different than it used to be. Because
know-
you are different. You become different.
I have had throughout my life to learn every lesson there probably is through every kind of abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, every kind of abuse, any kind of lesson you had, hardship you could learn, I've learned it.
Yeah.
And so I had empathy towards so many. I could look at you and just know like what type of grief you had in your life. But the one thing I hadn't gone through in this life was loss,
Yeah.
other than my grandparents and people that should have passed away.
Yeah.
And so when I met people and who had tragic loss or unexpected loss or loss of a child or sibling or even though I felt for them, I could feel their pain, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And we're always, especially when you're on this path, a spiritual path or a teaching path, or you have to know that lesson. You have to feel it. And part of me, that's part of the reason why I kind of feel guilty, is because I feel like Shelby came here to teach me that lesson. And I would have never picked that.
Yeah.
I would never have
Yeah.
picked that. You know what I mean? Even though I know we agreed upon it over there, I
That was
wouldn't
not
have
in
picked
your
that. It
plans.
was not in my earthly plans at all, period.
And I feel the same thing with Todd, and I think, how could this possibly happen? What did I do? I must have been bad in a previous life or something.
I say that all the time. Who I am as a person does not add up to the crap I've had to deal with in my life. Absolutely not.
No.
And
But it is what's made you the
yes,
person
who I
you
am.
are.
And
Yeah.
the best teachers go through the hardest lessons.
Yeah, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And I think, because I feel like I'm able to help people, and I think it's my goal in life now, and trying to help people understand what they're going through. And
It's been my goal in life with everything. That's all I've done is help and try and have compassion and teach compassion and love, and to be non-judgmental towards what other people are going through, knowing that everybody's doing the best they can with what they're given at the moment. So you can't look at somebody and say, oh, they're doing this or they're doing that, and have a judgment on them because you haven't lived their path. We are born infants, innocent.
yeah,
We are taught to be who we are.
Yep.
We mimic our environment.
Yeah.
So everybody, not just one person or half the people, all of us.
yeah,
You can't look at somebody and say it's their fault that they are the way that they are, even though they're adults. you have to unprogram all the stuff that you've been programmed from the time you were born. Society programs us.
And that's like little kids think your parents are the greatest things in the world. And then they become teenagers.
Exactly.
And your parents are so stupid.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's stupid at that age. We know it all.
But it's an experience that nobody should go through.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
Life-altering. It's not something that I would ever wish on anybody. But I know it's going to be my biggest lesson, and it's going to be the biggest gift I have to offer the world is from this lesson.
Yeah, and and you almost hate to say that you're going to get something out of it, and that
Yeah.
it's not monetary, but you have to learn from it, and I think that's why it's dealt.
Yeah, I do, and I truly believe that I've never played the victim. And no matter what's happened to me in my life, I've looked at every lesson as, okay, why did this happen? What am I supposed to get out of this? What am I supposed to do with this? Even as a small child, everything that's ever happened to me, I've never felt like it wasn't supposed to happen. And even though I feel on a physical level that I didn't want this to happen, on a soul level and unconsciously, I know that it was supposed to happen. So it does give me some kind of peace knowing that, but not on a physical sense.
Yeah.
Not right now. It doesn't give me peace.
Now,
I'd rather have her here.
Absolutely. I'd rather be a bum and have him here.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you're part of the Earth Angel Sanctuary.
EarthAngelSanctuary.com. It's a group of like-minded souls. My friend Sarah Vine created the page, and there's all kinds of people like me, like I do channeled readings for people on there, so I'm part of the team. And then there's Katie Speed, who channels an angel Shimlea on there. Sarah Vine herself does energy healing. There's somebody else who decodes pain. It's a group of us who help heal the healers.
Huh.
Like unprogram them from the stuff that they've gone through in their life to find their gifts.
Yeah.
And if you are somebody who is interested in angels and past lives and supernatural, 90% of the time you're an earth angel yourself. You just don't realize it. And those are the people that have gone through the most hardship in life because we're the best teachers. And you have to go through that to be a teacher, to be able to understand.
Yeah. And I think my experience has been, if you pray to angels, they're more than happy to help you.
And you have to ask them.
Yeah, and
You have to.
I know a couple of times when I had my store, I couldn't find my car keys.
Oh.
20 minutes of looking for the car keys, and I stopped in the hallway and I said, all right, I need help. Angels, please help me find my car keys. I no sooner said it, I turned and walked over and picked up the keys off the desk.
That's part of my daily life.
I thought,
That's what I do
what?
every day. I mean, I was in Six Flags and my son disappeared. I just looked around and he was gone. I was like, and my mom, my whole family is very spiritual. She was like, Sandy, stop panicking. Just stop and ask the angels. I was like, okay, angels, find him. I turned around and he's standing right behind me. And I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, and they do that, and it's amazing. So I believe in angels. I think they really do help. Except you ask for $1 million, you never get it.
No, the lottery numbers, I tried that. It doesn't work.
But people have dreamt of numbers.
Yes, they have.
And they wake up and write them down
If
and
if
win.
it's part of your path, then you will. Whatever way they need to get a hold of you for you to do that,
Yeah.
that's part of your path. We all have a path that we're supposed to walk on. There are certain things that we pick up that can be removed, but if your contract, so to speak, in this life, if you're contracted to do a certain thing or die at a certain time or meet a certain person, you will. No matter what happens, that'll happen. But the free will
Excuse me.
thing comes in, and you do have a choice on which way to go once that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there are things that we are destined to, that we are contracted to come here and do and learn. That was our purpose here. And one of them was to live through this.
Yeah. And I would not have chosen that path.
Not consciously.
No, I'd rather have them around. It's nice to have them visit every once in a while.
Yeah, and the
It's just-
signs.
It's not, not a picnic. So right now you're planning this.
Yes, we're doing, getting all the sponsors. Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
through town. A lot of businesses in town are helping us, donating, like Bogues Alley. In 1 month, they raised $520 just with a little jar
Wow.
out in front of the store. And there's a few other places that have been doing the same thing. I had a GoFundMe up there for a little while, and we raised almost $5,000 from the GoFundMe.
Really?
For the foundation. And the school department's getting involved. The activity center in Pawcatuck is getting involved. There's a lot of the Heart Association is getting involved. They're going to sponsor us. Shelby was really big into the raising money for the Heart Association. She got 2 awards
Oh, no kidding.
for raising the most money for them. So they're really,
Wow.
eager to jump on board with this. So.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to get to help the kids in the community that need, something to do, like just anything for teenagers to help them through drug addiction, pregnancy, feeling alone, not having anybody to talk to. The center, I think, will eventually end up being more like a place where kids to come do activities during the day, free, and
Yeah.
all nonprofit.
Yeah.
To help the kids in the community, because really there is nothing around here
No.
for the kids to do besides the Y.
Yeah. And I know when I was a kid, we had the Vista Community Center.
Yeah.
And you could go in there anytime that it was open. And there was no dues, nothing. Just
Yeah.
went in there, play some sports, talk to to Roger, the guy that ran it. And if you had problems, you could talk to him. And
Yeah, we're gonna have counselors. We want to
Yeah.
have counselors. Maybe we're thinking about getting some horses to help, and do that kind of stuff. They can help with the horses and maybe a little farm, something like that. 24 hours though. I don't want it to close. I want it to be a 24-hour thing. So anybody can come in at any time if they need a place to stay, someone to talk to, anything like that.
You're going to need big money.
Oh, well, Shelby's there helping. I'm not worried about it.
You'll find something. Now, if anybody wants to donate, send it to.
Right now, the website, the Shelby Rose Foundation is being put up right now. It probably won't actually be fully operable until the 13th. We're setting up the bank account now, all that
Okay.
kind of stuff. So I know we have a post office box, but I don't know it offhand. I don't. I'm
Yeah.
still in La La Land right now.
Yeah. Well, keep me in touch, and I'll let people know
Oh,
where
I
they
will.
can donate.
Oh, I can post it on your page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, you send me a thing I've posted on the studio,
Oh, okay. I will do so.
on the bulletin.
I actually will send you the whole website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And it has the post office box on there and everything.
We got about 3-4 more minutes,
Wow, that's gone by fast.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Well, anybody who's gone through this, they're here. There's signs everywhere. Some of the most common signs are numbers, like repeating numbers, 333, 444, 555, dates, certain things like that, feathers, coins everywhere.
Yeah.
Radio, they like to use music a lot. Music, colors, rainbows.
They also like to open and shut doors, too.
Yes, they do. But for people like us who are aware and looking, we notice those things. But for people who aren't aware, coins, rainbows, feathers, repeated numbers, dates, you pay attention to them. And it's very helpful
Yeah,
to
you
know.
have to keep your eyes and ears open, because every once in a while you go, what was that?
But they
And-
will make their presence known. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
will keep doing it until you know it. And
Smack you right in the head.
each person's unique, and they know what to use for each person. Like
Yeah.
yours is feathers, mine's music.
Yeah.
They know what to use for each person. It's totally amazing.
I'm just thankful that Todd didn't come to me in music, because I couldn't stand his music.
You would have picked
I
the
would
song
know
you
it's him.
hated.
Yeah.
Yep,
I said, no, not that song.
not that song.
So we'll keep in touch on that, and I'll let
I'll send you the
people know.
information on the website and the foundation.
And if you want to contact Sandy, she's got is this a good website page?
Yeah.
Is that?
S. Lipowski, 1014.wix.com
All right,
/ Sandy with an I, Lipowski.
Yeah. There it is. That's up there now. No, that's not it. That's the one from last week. It's the website is slipowski1014
Dot
wix.com /Sandy SANDI Lipowski LIP. It's just
Yeah, I
shows-
know.
oh, okay.
I misspelled it.
Thank you. OWSKI. Her email address is, I gotta put my glasses on. SLIPOWSKI1014 So if you want to get a hold of her, and if that was too much, write to me. I'll give you their address, and I'd be happy to have her get in touch with you.
Thank you, Tom.
And just a couple of announcements. The last full month of summer is upon us, and there's a lot of things to do before the summer ends. August is always such a busy month. Number one, get a tan, but you already have one. You look great. Mystic Art Festival is this weekend, yeah. And if you're not going to the Mystic Art Festival, stay away from Mystic, because it's hell to get through.
Yes, it is.
Lebanon Country Fair is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I mention that because I'm going to be up there autographing books. Connecticut Authors and Publishers Association authors will be set up in the building and waiting to meet you and sign books for you. Please stop by and say hello and say that you heard it on my TV show. Saturday night, our own Frankie Justin Lamprey, who is going to be here in a couple of weeks, and his band Rough Stock will be at the Roadhouse on Bank Street from 6 to 9, and he's introducing his first CD, and he's got T-shirts available. For this month, I've got Tish Raby coming in, and she writes Cat in the Hat book, and a couple that sells oxygen in Mystic. It's called Mystic Organics, and you guys, you go in and buy oxygen and inhale it.
Really?
I've got to get out and try it.
Well, they say even oxygenated water is really healing. You can buy things to actually oxygenate your water. Yes. That was a good one.
Next week, I'm going to have Nina Lake on, and she's going to bring her Yukon class, and it's going to be for an hour show, and it's going to be live participation. We are taping it, but it's going to be a live participation. Anyway, thank you for watching. Email me at santostom@comcast.net. You should be reading. Cuddle up with a good book, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.